Hello Zenith women and welcome to the channel. The most dangerous lies are the ones wrapped in charming words. They say men are what they do, but let's be real. They're also what they say. Research suggests we speak around 16,000 words a day, but some men can manage to deliver a lifetime's worth of red flags in just a few sentences. For the sharp and self-sufficient Sigma woman, decoding these verbal cues isn't just a skill, it's a survival tactic. Why? Because behind every "I'm just being honest" or "you're not like other girls" lies a trail of subtle manipulation, unchecked insecurities, and occasionally a desperate cry for therapy. The problem? These phrases often sound harmless, even flattering at first. But don't worry, by the time we're done here, you'll never look at "you remind me of my mom" the same way again. Buckle up, because we're about to uncover the slick, the cringy, and the downright alarming things men say and what they really mean. Number 1. You're not like other women. You're not like other women sounds like a golden compliment, but it's often laced with hidden meaning. At first it feels like you've been singled out, praised for being unique. But dig a little deeper, and it reveals a man's skewed perception of women as a whole. This phrase isn't about celebrating your individuality. It's about comparing you to a vague, unflattering idea of other women who somehow fall short in his eyes. The red flag here isn't just the comparison, it's the underlying judgment. When a man says this, he's likely trying to align himself as the good guy while painting an oversimplified, negative picture of the rest of the gender. But if he's quick to dismiss other women, what makes you think he won't someday toss you into that same category? It suggests he might value you only as long as you meet certain conditions or fit his narrative. Worse still, this phrase often shifts the spotlight from your real qualities to how you fit into his expectations. Instead of genuinely getting to know you, he's putting you on a pedestal built from stereotypes about lesser women. It's not admiration, it's objectification wrapped in pretty words. Sigma women should recognize that individuality doesn't require stepping on others to shine. A man who respects women doesn't need to put down half the population to lift you up. So the next time someone tries to charm you with this line, listen closely. Is he appreciating you, or is he just revealing his shallow black and white view of the world? A real connection celebrates complexity, not one-dimensional comparisons. Number 2. I don't believe in gender roles, but when a man starts with, "I don't believe in gender roles, but," it's a dead giveaway that what follows is going to be exactly the opposite of what he just claimed. This is the verbal equivalent of saying, "I'm not racist, but," you already know what's coming, isn't going to align with the first part of the sentence. This contradiction reveals a cognitive dissonance. He wants to appear progressive and open-minded, but his words and actions often tell a different story. For example, he might say he doesn't believe in gender roles, but then casually drop a comment like, "I think women are naturally better at nurturing, so you'd probably want to handle the kids." Or maybe he'll praise your independence, only to later imply that he expects you to take care of all the cooking and cleaning because you're just so good at it. The underlying issue isn't the belief in traditional roles themselves, it's the dishonesty about it. This kind of doublethink is a red flag because it reflects deeper inconsistencies in his values and expectations. If he's unable or unwilling to align his words with his actions, how can you trust him in a partnership? For a Sigma woman who thrives on clarity and autonomy, this behavior is more than just frustrating. It's a potential threat to the balance of the relationship. The reality is, it's fine for people to hold traditional beliefs if they're upfront about them. But when someone cloaks their expectations in progressive language to avoid accountability or critique, it's manipulative. Words are easy, integrity is rare. A man who truly respects your independence and individuality doesn't need to sugarcoat his beliefs. He'll let his actions speak for themselves. Number 3, I'm just being honest. When a man says, "I'm just being honest," it's often less about truth-telling and more about excusing his lack of tact or empathy. Honesty, in its truest form, is about transparency and understanding, not delivering brutal truths without consideration for the other person's feelings. This phrase is frequently used as a shield, a way to justify saying hurtful things while avoiding accountability. For example, he might criticize your appearance, dismiss your dreams, or downplay your achievements, all under the guise of honesty. But there's a fine line between constructive feedback and verbal weaponry. If his honesty consistently leaves you feeling smaller, unappreciated, or hurt, it's not honesty. It's cruelty dressed up as a virtue. The bigger problem here is emotional intelligence. Someone who values honesty but lacks empathy often fails to communicate in a way that fosters growth or connection. Instead, their words can become a tool for control or superiority, as if their bluntness somehow makes them more authentic than others. In reality, it just shows an inability or unwillingness to consider how their words land. For Sigma women who value straightforwardness but also respect, this is a critical red flag. Genuine honesty doesn't need to cut people down to make a point. It's about creating understanding, not conflict. If a man constantly uses "I'm just being honest" to justify hurting you, it's not a sign of integrity. It's a sign he doesn't care enough to learn how to communicate effectively. Honesty without kindness isn't honesty at all. It's just a poorly disguised excuse for being dismissive. Number 4, I'm not like other guys. When a man says, "I'm not like other guys," it's often more of a sales pitch than a statement of fact. This phrase may seem harmless or even flattering at first, but it can raise serious suspicions. Why does he feel the need to proclaim his uniqueness rather than let his actions prove it? Often it's a sign of someone who is overly concerned with how they're perceived, possibly to the point of being manipulative. This line tends to surface early in conversations, usually when he's trying to win you over. He's setting himself apart from some vague negative idea of other guys, but notice how he never elaborates on what exactly makes him different. Does he mean he's emotionally available, respectful, trustworthy, or is he just banking on your assumptions to fill in the blanks? The truth is, people who are genuinely unique don't need to broadcast it. Actions, how he treats you, communicates with you, and handles challenges, are far more revealing than any words he could say. A man who relies on this kind of declaration may actually be masking insecurities or trying to position himself as better without doing the work to genuinely live up to that claim. For a Sigma woman, this kind of self-promotion should be a red flag. It hints at a need for validation and possibly a lack of authenticity. If he's truly different, you'll see it in the way he carries himself, not in the way he markets himself. Beware of anyone who tries to sell you on their character instead of showing it, because what's underneath the surface might be far less impressive than the image he's trying to project. Number 5, you should smile more. When a man tells you you should smile more, it's rarely about genuine concern for your happiness. Instead, it's a subtle assertion of control, an unsolicited suggestion that your appearance should cater to his expectations or comfort. While it might sound innocuous, this comment reflects a deeper issue, an inability to respect your autonomy over how you express yourself. Think about it. Why does he feel entitled to dictate your mood or expression? Your face isn't a billboard for someone else's idea of pleasantness. When a man makes this remark, it often reveals a belief, whether conscious or not, that women exist to make the world more visually appealing, particularly for him. It reduces your humanity to an accessory, something to be adjusted for his convenience. The irony is that this comment often comes in situations where smiling wouldn't make sense. You could be deep in thought, dealing with stress, or simply existing, and yet he thinks your neutral expression needs fixing. What does that tell you about his priorities? A man who values your personality, intelligence, and independence wouldn't waste time trying to control something as superficial as your smile. For Sigma women, who thrive on authenticity and reject performative behavior, this kind of remark is especially grating. You don't need to plaster a smile on your face to make anyone more comfortable, and a man who respects you wouldn't ask you to. A real partner focuses on what's beneath the surface, not on whether your expression matches some outdated notion of approachability. So the next time someone tells you to smile more, feel free to respond with your favorite unimpressed look and let that speak for itself. Number 6. Why are you still single? Why are you still single? Might sound like a harmless curiosity, but it's anything but innocent. Beneath the surface, this question often carries an implicit judgment, as if being single is a problem that needs solving, or worse, a flaw that needs explaining. For a Sigma woman who values her independence and sets her own standards, this question is not just intrusive, it's also a red flag. When a man asks this, he's often projecting his own assumptions about relationships. In his mind, being single might mean you're too picky, hard to deal with, or somehow incomplete without a partner. Instead of recognizing that your singleness could be a conscious, empowered choice, he frames it as a gap in your life that he might be able to fill. It's less about understanding you and more about satisfying his curiosity or his ego. Worse, this question reveals a lack of respect for individuality. It assumes that every woman should aspire to be partnered, ignoring the fact that being single can be a deliberate, fulfilling state. A man who truly respects you would recognize that your relationship status doesn't define your worth or happiness. For a Sigma woman, the question also hints at a potential mismatch in values. If he's hung up on why you're single, it suggests he sees relationships as a status marker rather than a genuine connection. A question like this isn't just about small talk, it's a window into how he views women and relationships. The best response? A confident smile and a reminder, because I don't settle for less than I deserve. That answer tells him everything he needs to know and leaves no room for further assumptions. Number 7. You remind me of my mom. You remind me of my mom might sound sweet at first. After all, many men have a deep admiration for their mothers. But dig a little deeper, and this statement can uncover layers of emotional baggage and potentially unhealthy expectations. While context matters, this comparison often signals that he's projecting onto you, seeing you not as an independent partner, but as a stand-in for the maternal figure in his life. Here's the problem. If he's comparing you to his mom, it's often less about admiration and more about roles. Is he looking for someone to support, nurture, and take care of him in ways that a partner shouldn't have to? Does he expect you to handle his emotional needs, his organization, or even his decision-making? If so, this isn't a relationship, it's a dependency. For Sigma women who thrive on mutual respect and equality, being shoehorned into a caretaker role is a hard no. You're not here to be his emotional crutch, his personal chef, or his life organizer. A healthy relationship is built on partnership, not parental dynamics. If he's unable to separate the care he received from his mother from the responsibilities he should handle as an adult, it's a sign of arrested emotional development. It's also worth noting that this phrase can carry subtle undertones of control. If he idolizes his mother in an unhealthy way, he might expect you to conform to her standards, whether that's how she behaved, dressed, or even thought. A Sigma woman doesn't live in anyone's shadow, let alone someone's mother's. So, while a man's love for his mom can be endearing, this phrase often hints at deeper issues. If he's looking for a second mother, let him know kindly but firmly, you're not auditioning for the role. Number 8. Why do you need to do that? When a man asks, why do you need to do that? It might initially sound like harmless curiosity, but often it's laced with doubt or subtle criticism. Whether he's questioning your career ambitions, hobbies, or personal goals, this line isn't about understanding, it's about challenging your choices. For a Sigma woman, this question is more than frustrating. It's a sign that he may be insecure or unsupportive of your independence. This kind of remark often comes from a place of discomfort. He might feel threatened by your drive or uncertain about where he fits in your life if you're focused on pursuing your goals. Instead of openly addressing those feelings, he cloaks them in skepticism. It's rarely about the thing you're doing. It's about how your ambition makes him feel. Sometimes this question is a way of undermining your confidence. By asking why you need to do something, he subtly implies that your pursuits are excessive, unnecessary, or even selfish. It's a red flag for deeper issues, a lack of respect for your autonomy, an inability to celebrate your successes, or a desire to control your choices. The truth is, you don't owe anyone an explanation for wanting more out of life. A supportive partner doesn't question why you're reaching for the stars. They cheer you on and help you reach them. If a man can't see your ambition as a strength, It's a reflection of his limitations, not yours. For a Sigma woman, this is non-negotiable. Your goals and passions are an extension of who you are, not something to be justified or minimized. The next time someone asks, "Why do you need to do that?" the answer is simple: because I want to. And that's enough. Number 9. I'm just not ready for anything serious right now. When a man says, "I'm just not ready for anything serious right now," it might seem like a reasonable admission at first, but if this comes after months of dating or mixed signals, it's a classic case of someone trying to have their cake and eat it too. It's not about being not ready. It's about wanting the perks of a relationship, companionship, affection, intimacy, without the responsibilities that come with commitment. This phrase often signals emotional avoidance, a reluctance to face the reality of building a stable, genuine connection. At its core, it's a way of keeping things in a comfortable, low-risk zone, where he can enjoy the benefits of a relationship without actually having to invest in one. Whether it's avoiding the label of girlfriend or sidestepping deeper conversations about the future, he's looking for a way to maintain his freedom while keeping you around for the convenience. For a Sigma woman who values independence and clarity, this is a huge red flag. Your time and energy are valuable, and you don't have the luxury to indulge in relationships where intentions are unclear or mismatched. If he's not ready for something serious, the honest truth is he's not offering the same level of commitment or emotional investment that you deserve. It's one thing if someone is upfront and clear about their desire for a casual relationship from the start, but dragging it out for months, giving mixed signals, and then using "not ready" as an excuse is manipulative. Sigma women don't waste time on people who aren't clear about their intentions. You know your worth, and if someone isn't ready to meet you at that level, then it's time to walk away and make room for someone who is. Number 10. You're too sensitive. When a man tells you you're too sensitive, it's an immediate red flag. Instead of validating your feelings or engaging in meaningful conversation, this phrase dismisses your emotions, reducing them to something to be ignored or invalidated. It's an attempt to silence you by making you feel like your reactions are overblown or unwarranted, when in reality, it's often his inability to deal with deeper emotions. That's the problem. At its core, "you're too sensitive" is a form of emotional manipulation. Rather than addressing what's bothering you or taking the time to understand your perspective, he uses this phrase to shut down the conversation. It places the blame on you, suggesting that your feelings are the issue, not his actions or words. Over time, this can erode your self-confidence, making you second-guess your emotions and creating a toxic dynamic where you constantly feel unheard and unimportant. A man who regularly uses this phrase likely lacks the emotional maturity and capacity to engage with you on a deeper level. Instead of supporting you during moments of vulnerability, he takes the easy way out by minimizing your feelings. This kind of behavior prevents growth in the relationship and leaves you feeling emotionally unfulfilled. For a Sigma woman who values authenticity and emotional intelligence, this is an absolute deal breaker. You deserve a partner who listens, empathizes, and responds thoughtfully, not someone who uses your sensitivity as an excuse to avoid meaningful connection. If he can't handle your feelings, he's not the right person to walk alongside you in life. In a world where words can be both a bridge and a barrier, the phrases men use reveal far more than they might realize. For a Sigma woman who prizes independence, clarity, and emotional intelligence, these subtle red flags aren't just irritating. They're signals that speak volumes about a potential partner's values and intentions. The way someone communicates or fails to can either empower you to grow together or leave you feeling diminished. As a Sigma woman, you don't settle for anything less than respect, authenticity, and genuine connection. Your time, energy, and emotions are valuable, and you deserve someone who meets you where you are without manipulation, control, or inconsistency. The next time you hear one of these phrases, take a moment to reflect. Are they a red flag or a call to action to protect your peace and prioritize your own growth? In the end, it's not about rejecting men. It's about rejecting behaviors that undermine your worth. Let your intuition be your guide and trust that the right person will not only value your words but understand the silence between them. When someone truly sees you, they don't need to manipulate, control, or make excuses. They simply show up, authentically, and meet you in a place of mutual respect. Anything less isn't worth your time. If you found these insights helpful and eye-opening, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. By subscribing, you're not just staying updated on more powerful tips and truths for navigating relationships. You're joining a community that values self-respect, clarity, and authenticity. Don't let these red flags slip by unnoticed. Let's keep empowering each other to recognize our worth and never settle for less than we deserve. So go ahead, subscribe now, and let's keep this journey of growth and empowerment going. God bless you.